Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be making a tier list of some different self-improvement habits. So this video is a bit different today than what I normally do, but it can be fun to try new things. I've actually seen some other guys on YouTube do this, but I haven't seen any women do it yet. Maybe they did and I just haven't seen it. So I thought it would be fun to give it a shot. So I'm going to be taking a look at some self-improvement habits, many of which I've talked about in past videos that I've done. Some I have not though. These are just some of the most popular ones that I see online. So I'm going to be ranking these based off of some different things here, maybe how helpful I think they are personally, if they're things I've tried, that will definitely play a factor as well. I know the video is technically called men's self-improvement, but women can do any of these things as well. And I've actually done a lot of the things on this list today. Some have been more life-changing for me than others, so I'll definitely share that throughout the video. And keep in mind, again, this is of course just my perspective as a woman. Your ranking might be different and that's totally fine too. And if so, I would love to hear how you would rank these things down below in the comments. So let's get started. Alrighty, so the first one here is your circle. So by your circle, I mean your network, the people that you surround yourself with. Now, I think this is one of the most important things and life-changing things that can take place in your life is who you surround yourself with. But I do think that your circle of who you surround yourself with on a daily, weekly basis is so incredibly important. I notice a huge difference in myself, my productivity, my positivity, the way I feel about life, the way I feel about people, when I surround myself with good people. Included in this one could also be the content that you're consuming, which I think is another critical aspect and a life-changing thing that really has the ability to make a positive change in your life if you choose to consume the right content and surround yourself with the right people. I'm going to try not to go on and on about every single one, or else this video is going to be way too long and you guys are going to be annoyed with me. So with all that being said, and one quote that I always think about when I think about your circle is surround yourself with 5 smokers and you'll be the 6th, or surround yourself with 5 people who work out and you will be the 6th. Of course, there's nuance to that and it's not always 100% true, but I always think about that when I'm thinking about people that I'm spending time with and who I really want in my life. So with that being said, your circle I am putting in the S tier life-changing category. Okay, the next one here is another heavy hitter. Watch me get to the end of this video and all of them are in S tier life-changing category. I'm gonna really try my best not to do that, but we have 2 heavy hitters here first to start. Exercise, I'm not kidding. I think this is one of the most important things that you could ever do for yourself. Not only does exercise change your physical appearance for the better, it will improve your mental health too, which I think is, it's a double win. It's a 2-in-1. We love that. I always feel better after I work out. Just a personal example, there has never been a time where I felt worse physically or mentally after I worked out. I have always felt better every single time. Consistent exercise has genuinely changed my life in so many positive ways. So for that, we're going in the S tier. We're back at it in the S tier, you guys. I really hope I can put some in lower tiers here because that is like no fun to do a tier list where everything is in the S tier. If you are someone who is not consistently moving your body, if you live a very sedentary lifestyle, I think one of the best things you could do for yourself is start to exercise and make it a priority to move your body. Because again, I think this is the best thing that you could do for yourself. Out of everything on this list, this one I think takes the cake. Actually, if there was a tier above S tier, exercise would go there. That's how life-changing it is. Okay, next up we have nutrition. Okay, I'm not a doctor, obviously, so you need to do your own research, but I will say this, if you are fueling your body with junk food, don't be surprised then when it runs like junk. To put it so simply here, what you eat directly affects the structure and the function of your brain, and then ultimately your mood. I do not think people fully understand the correlation between what you eat and how you feel. And I think a lot of people's problems could be solved if they fueled their body with more nutritious foods. Now, I'm not trying to make a generalization and say that would work for everyone, but I don't think there's no way that eating healthy can make your life worse. There's just no way. I feel incredible when I consistently eat healthy. So again, yeah, with that being said, nutrition is going in the S tier life-changing category because I think you are what you eat. Your body runs off of what you eat, and if you're fueling it with junk, it's going to run like junk, you're going to feel like junk, and it's not going to be good for you. And again, I think we have a huge crisis with this in this country that really gets me fired up. So maybe I can do a different video about that where I go a little bit more in depth because it is something I am passionate about. Okay, the next one here might seem a little bit superficial, but I see so much content about this online in terms of being physically attractive, how to make yourself more attractive. Your image altogether is what I'm going to categorize this one as, just because that's kind of an easy way to say it, your image. Included in this, I'm thinking your grooming routines, your style, how you take care of yourself, things like that. A lot of the time on YouTube, I see this being talked about as like looks maxing, I believe it's called. I could be butchering that. But it's basically how to level up your physical appearance. Now, I've said it so many times and I will say it again. Your physical appearance is not everything. You need to be putting effort into here and here as well. And I think that's really important too. However, looks get you in the door, baby. And I firmly believe that. And I think there is so much truth in the statement, look good, feel good. I know a lot of you will hear that and think that it's superficial or shallow, but I really believe this has the ability to change your life. And so many men just don't implement it because they think it's superficial or shallow, or it makes them upset that image plays such a, prominent role in our lives. But I think it would be ignorant to ignore the fact that image is important, the way you present yourself is important, and it really does have the ability to change your life. It is life-changing to put effort into yourself mentally and emotionally, but it's also life-changing to put effort into yourself physically. And I think if you're not currently doing this, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. But I have covered on my channel extensively things that you can do to level up your fashion game, your style, your grooming routines, your hygiene, things like that. But I think the first things I would recommend to do is improve your style and improve your grooming and your hygiene. While we're talking about your image, grooming, and hygiene, I have the perfect first step for all of you guys, and that is implementing a quality skincare routine. Big thank you to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring today's video. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin uncomplicated. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Their level 1 system comes with all of the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub that will change your life, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. And to make it even easier, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. This isn't something you want to put off because prevention is key. Your future self with skin that is better than every other guy will thank Tiege Hanley and thank Courtney Ryan for recommending them. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off of the retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link down in the description and you'll get 30% off of your first box, plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. So again, keep in mind, this is a woman's perspective on these self-improvement habits. So with that being said, I'm going to put image again in the S tier. I don't know if you guys have seen this all over social media lately, but people have been talking about the girlfriend effect. That is what you get when you come here, even if you're single. The girlfriend effect is basically when a man gets into a relationship with a girl, he is way more attractive, obviously because he has a girlfriend. That's besides the point. But also because she can help him with his style, with his grooming. With my channel, you are kind of getting the girlfriend effect, even if you don't have a girlfriend yet, because you're getting a woman's take and a woman's advice on how to make yourself more attractive, what to wear, your grooming habits. You're welcome. Next up, we have sleep. And before I even say anything, this is going in the S tier, because when I tell you, my life changed when I started making sure that I got at least 7-8 hours of sleep a night. Really, I need 8. So I try to do that every single night, and I have not been sick hardly at all since I started making sure I gave myself enough time to sleep and enough time to recover. I go to bed at a decent hour, I wake up at a decent hour, and I always, almost always, get 8 hours of sleep at least. And this did change my life. Just to give you a very quick rundown here, quality sleep can improve your performance, your mood, your health, and not getting enough quality sleep on a regular basis is going to raise the risk of many diseases and disorders, from heart disease to stroke to obesity to dementia, a bunch of things that I do not wish upon any of you. Sleep is essential for your mental and physical well-being, so yes, I would consider getting your sleep in order and really trying to improve this area of your life to be in the life-changing category. I promise you I will put things in other categories, but sleep is not one of them. Okay, the next one here is reading, and I will be so honest, I have a bit of a complicated relationship with reading because I found that recently I got very into books again. I go through phases where I'm really into it and I will read 4 books in 1 week. But that is the issue. When I start reading a book, I cannot put it down and I really struggle to get anything else done. So for me, reading is sometimes less productive and a little bit too distracting. So for that, I am going to put it in the must-try category because I still think it's incredible for you. There's a few different things to think about here as well. What you're reading, I think, also plays a role in the level or the tier that I would put it in. But even if you're reading fiction, which I prefer fiction, I don't like reading a ton of self-help books. I don't like reading a ton of content like that. I have before, and the few books that I have read have been incredible, but I prefer fiction. I personally would not consider reading fiction books to be life-changing. It's something that's good and it's a must-try, I think, but I don't think it's life-changing. I think there's a lot of self-help books that can be life-changing. Example, I read the book Attached, and I already knew kind of a lot of the information in the book from work that I've done on my channel, but if I had read that a few years prior, it would have been life-changing for me. And I had so many people reach out after I shared that book saying, this book changed my life. So for that reason, I do think it can be life-changing too. But again, keep in mind, this is my tier list. I'm putting it in the A category as a must-try still. No matter what you're reading though, I think we can all collectively agree, or hopefully most of us can agree, that it is still better than mindlessly scrolling on your phone. So that's a win. So the next one here is a mindset shift. And again, there's a couple different ways to look at this one. I am personally not the type of gal who does the whole manifestation thing or vision boards. So I'm not really into the mindset shift in that kind of category. But I do think that your mindset is incredibly important in the way that you approach life, the things that you choose to do or not do, how much you believe in yourself or how much you don't. Your limiting beliefs and your self-doubt can absolutely sabotage your life if you let it. Coming from someone who has been there and who has done that, I think that having a level of positivity while still being realistic can change your life. There is such thing as toxic positivity too, and I don't think just being Little Miss Sunshine and Rainbows 24/7 is the answer either. I think that is just as delusional as being negative all the time. So I think it's important to find a balance and to be realistic, but I do think that changing the way that you look at things and kind of shifting your mindset it has the ability to change your life, absolutely. So I'm torn between putting it in the A category and the S tier category because I think it really depends on what exactly we're talking about in terms of mindset shift. So I am going to put it in the S tier because I think generally speaking here, everything starts with you. It starts with the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you view people, the way that you view the world. Your mind is powerful. And I'm putting it in the S tier so that people can really understand that. Okay, the next one here is setting goals. Without a goal, you're kind of just floating around with no direction. I think you should always be working towards some sort of goal. It could be a professional goal, learning a new skill or hobby, working out a certain amount of days a week. It could be anything you want it to be. And this will be different for all of you. But I think it is good for keeping you well disciplined and having a plan, which I'm going to talk about in another point. If I didn't have goals for myself or my life, I don't think I'd be doing much of anything. I think I'd be a couch potato, scrolling on my phone, comparing my life to everyone else, and I think I'd be a sad girl, I think, if I didn't have any goals. So I'm gonna put setting goals in the S tier. And I think this is an area where people feel like they don't have a purpose or they don't have any motivation, they don't have any discipline, but they also don't have any goals for themselves. And you're probably feeling those ways because you don't have anything that you're working towards and you don't have a goal. So a step in kind of eradicating all those feelings can be as simple as just setting a goal. It can be as big or as small as you want it to be, but I think you should have some sort of goal always. So yes, S tier, life-changing. The next one is affirmations. This is a very popular thing online. I'm always seeing videos on TikTok. And again, I think this is kind of a branch off of the mindset shift thing. But for me personally, this can feel a little toxic positivity and just like pretending everything is perfect all the time when in reality maybe it's not. Again, it can help you focus on the positives and work on having a little bit of grace with yourself, which can absolutely be beneficial, and I think it's worth trying for sure. But for me, this is not something that has changed my life. Maybe it worked wonders for you and completely turned your life around, and I am so happy for you if that is the case. But for me, not the case, and not something that I do consistently, which again is maybe another reason why it hasn't really changed my life. I think any of the self-improvement habits that you're going to implement should be things that you do consistently to get the full effect and see the full benefit. So for that reason, and just my personal experience with affirmations and things like that, I'm going to put it in the C tier. Again, not bad. It says still probably worth trying. Even though it didn't really work for me, you should still try it and see how it benefits you. I think the bigger thing here, though, is the mindset shift altogether, which maybe affirmations could kind of fall under. Okay, the next one is no alcohol, which if you've been around on my channel, you know how I feel about this. For me, life-changing. Definitely try it if you haven't already. I would tell anyone and anyone about this. I have very personal reasons as to why I don't drink, and I also just hate the taste of it, so that's definitely an element too. But this is something that I feel very strongly about. I know not everyone has a personal tie to the detrimental impact of alcohol, but I do think at a minimum, if you're going to consume alcohol, you should be aware of what it does to your physical and mental well-being. But please, my advice to you would be to educate yourself if you're someone who drinks regularly. I don't say that to be a party pooper. I say it because I care deeply. And if me being a party pooper helps one of you out there, then a party pooper I will be. So with that being said, I am putting it in the S tier category. Next is planning and organization. And I have to be honest, without proper planning and organization, this channel would not exist. I would be Hot Mess Express. So for me, this is an absolute must. And I do realize that not everyone has the same lifestyle as I do, but when you run your own business, you have to be very organized or crap hits the fan. My success depends on organization and planning, and I see a direct negative impact when I slack off in this area. So for me, life-changing. Maybe for you it's not, but I don't think I could survive without my planner, without my note in my phone, with a checklist of everything I need to get done. I will put things on my to-do list that I already completed so that I can check it off. And maybe this is something that is wrong with me, and I should investigate this further, but the next one is waking up early, and I researched some of the benefits to share with you guys. So this says, the circadian rhythm regulating effects of waking up early can benefit more than just how well rested you feel. It may also help regulate your mood and improve mental health. But that doesn't mean that you need to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I have gone days where I have woken up that early. And right now, I'm married, I don't have any kids, so I have the luxury of not having to wake up that early or all throughout the night, which I'm thankful for. But I just can't imagine why anyone would want to wake up at 5 a.m. if they don't have to. So I think this is more so about how you spend your mornings and also making sure that you're getting adequate sleep, as we talked about earlier. I think that's more important than necessarily waking up early, like just waking up early for what? But I have found that waking up at a decent hour and having a morning routine has been really helpful for me. So I would recommend that more so, again, than just waking up early. This article also said one of the multitude of ways to treat depression is to establish sleep patterns that are more consistent with natural light and dark cycles. So again, the circadian rhythm, very powerful. I usually wake up sometime between 7 and 8, and this works perfect for me. For me, that's not super early. To you, that might sound very early. College me never would have woken up at 7 or 8 a.m. I slept till 9, 10, and I will admit I do feel better now that I wake up at 7 or 8. So I'm going to put waking up early in the must-try category because I think, again, it's more so about how you spend your mornings and having a morning routine and just waking up at a decent hour when the sun is coming up. Like, unless you work a night shift and you have to be awake all night and sleep all day, I would not recommend doing that. It goes completely against our natural cycle, our circadian rhythm. Okay, the next one is meditation, which I have to be honest, I haven't done this enough to give it a fair ranking. I've tried it, but it's really something that I struggle with, which is probably a sign that I should be doing it more, or at least attempting. Maybe if I was consistent with it, it could be life-changing for me. But at this point in time, I think I'm doing fine without it. I know how powerful this can be for so many people, and I know this is a very cultural thing too, so I don't want to discredit that at all. It can really help with reducing psychological stress, which I think a lot of people could benefit from. Breath work is another thing that can be really helpful for reducing anxiety and stress. I do this sometimes if I'm overwhelmed, and it really helps calm me down. My mom used to be a preschool teacher, and she did little breathwork exercises with her preschoolers to help them work through their emotions and their anger and just big emotions that they weren't used to feeling. And I think breath work can really be beneficial, but that's a totally different thing than meditation. So breath work, maybe that's something I should have included on this list because I think that can be really great. But meditation specifically, I struggle with it. I will go and put on like a meditation soundtrack and sit and close my eyes, and 5 seconds later, I'm like antsy. I want to get up. And again, maybe that's a sign that I should be doing it. But right now, it's not something that I've really done a lot. Again, don't want to discredit it, but for me, has not been life-changing. And I've actually found for myself personally that I have benefited more from like a yoga class. I think I gravitate towards that more so than just meditation. So maybe give that a shot if you're someone who's also tried meditation and you didn't really get the benefits from it. Or, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. But for that, I'm going to put it in the C tier. Because, again, probably still worth trying. Give it a shot. For me, has not been life-changing. Okay, next one is limiting screen time, which if you've been around, you know how I feel about this. The more time I spend on my phone, the worse I feel, which is unfortunate because this is my job and I don't have much of a choice. But it is something that I'm well aware of, and I can feel myself getting to a worse mental state when I read too many comments, when I scroll too much on TikTok, when I'm just online too much. Limiting your screen time can have many different benefits: increased productivity, improved social interactions in real life because you're actually talking to people, better sleep quality, better mental well-being, improved physical health. Too much time on screens for a lot of people leads to a sedentary lifestyle or isolating yourself and not getting out and experiencing the real world. I don't want any of you to be chronically online. As I say, go outside, touch some grass, report back how you feel. Like, really, I would be so mindful of the time that you're spending on your phone, and more importantly, the content that you're consuming. I think that actually packs the biggest punch in terms of limiting your screen time. Like, are you being productive in your screen time, or did you just scroll on TikTok for 4 hours and you have nothing to show for it? So I would say, yeah, limiting your screen time has the ability to be life-changing. I think a lot of people's lives would change if they were not chronically online and went out into the real world and got off the internet for a couple days or maybe a couple weeks. I think we have such a big issue with this in our society, and I understand that me telling you to get off your phone probably doesn't help my business, but truthfully, I don't care. I am so over the chronically online people. I am over the people who just fall into these echo chambers on the internet and regurgitate false information that they've seen online and did not think critically about at all. It is infuriating, and let me simmer down because I'm getting a little emotional, but I just really get off your phone. Go outside. Go hang out with your friend. As great as the internet can be for so many things, it will never replace in-person human interactions. It can't. It won't, it doesn't. So I would encourage you to get off the phone, go experience life, go outside, go talk to someone, say hi to a stranger, give someone a hug. Not that you don't know, maybe don't take that advice, but anyway. Okay, the last one I have here today is journaling. Again, one of those things that I know benefits so many people, but it's not something that I really find myself doing. There was a point in time where I had a prompted journal that I would do daily, but I personally did not notice a life-changing impact. I think for someone who struggles to understand their emotions or might keep everything bottled in, this could be a great way of trying to articulate your thoughts or your feelings, and in the process attempt to have a better understanding of yourself or just your feelings in general. So again, don't want to discredit this because I know it can be powerful for so many people, but for me personally, I was consistent with journaling for a while and I didn't find it something that I needed to keep doing or that was really life-changing for me. But I also have friends who it is life-changing for them. So for that, I'm going to put it in the B tier. It's good. You should try it. I don't think journaling is going to be a negative thing for you. Again, it's better than scrolling mindlessly on your phone. So if you're choosing between journaling or scrolling on TikTok, I would go with journaling. Okay, that's the end of my ranking here. Clearly, I didn't put any of these in the skip category because I think these are all at least worth trying. You never know how something could change your life unless you try it. I think some definitely pack more of a punch than others, but I think that's also going to depend on you and your lifestyle and what your goals are for yourself. We're all different, and that's the beauty of life. I'm not trying to discredit anything or anyone or change anybody here, but I hope that this inspires you to maybe try some new things that you think could add value to your life. I love my life. These are the things that work for me, and I want all of you to love your life too. Let me know down in the comments how you would rank all of these things. What have you tried? What have you not tried? What are you going to try after watching this video? I would just love to hear from you guys down below. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. And I have actually done a lot of videos on my channel about self-improvement, habits of successful people, different habits and things like that that you guys might really enjoy watching. So I'll link some of those down below for you that you can check out if you haven't already. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.